The 2% rule. Follow this rule and I promise that you will give yourself enough time to learn the market well enough to succeed in the market. Enough time to learn the market well enough to succeed in the market. That is really the key to this 2% rule, is giving yourself enough time. You're going to make some mistakes and learn from those mistakes. That wisdom that you will gain will be greater than anything else that anyone can teach you, because there is no greater learning process than the process of personal experience. As most of us know, you have been given the tools and knowledge, everything that you need to know to succeed through this training. Now you really need to implement this 2% rule. Page 109 of your text. Experienced traders in most any financial market will tell you that they never risk more than 2% of their account on any single trade. The logic behind this is simple. By never risking more than 2% of their capital at any one time, a trader would have to take 50 consecutive bad trades in order to lose their capital, while streaks of 8 to 12 bad trades can occur. Even 20 bad trades at 2% is only a 40% loss, as opposed to risking 10% on each trade. Only 10 consecutive losers will eat 100% of your capital. If you only risk 2% of your account per trade, you would have to lose 50 straight times in order to be out of the market and done for. If you lose 50 consecutive times, I want to hear about it. I am impressed. I would be amazed to see someone lose 50 consecutive times. At some point, you would have to just get lucky and on accident perhaps make one correct trade, and that is assuming that you haven't been properly educated and that you don't have as great of tools for success as you do. You have learned so much. Continue to watch these videos and practice the skills that you have learned. There is no way with all that you know now that you would ever make 50 consecutive bad trades. I don't believe that there is any way that you could make 20 consecutive bad trades with all that you know now. And with this 2% rule in place, you have plenty of time to learn the little extra tidbits of wisdom that you will need to become successful. And in that time, you will master the art of technical analysis. You will master the art of fundamental analysis. All things will come together. You will still have days that you lose, but you will not let emotion get involved. You will walk away on those days. All of those factors combined, you will become a successful trader if you stick to this 2% rule, because it will give you the time needed to learn the lessons of trading that can only come through personal experience. Money management. Proper money management principles. A few bullet points on your screen before we get into risk to reward ratios. 1. Keep a trading log. It is important to keep a trading journal. I'm going to touch on that again a little bit later, and a great deal of time was spent teaching how that is done earlier in the previous training videos. 2. Always use stops. Don't consider yourself so wise that you don't need to use stops. You always need to protect yourself. It is a safety net. 3. Employ risk to reward ratios. We're going to be talking about those in just a moment here. And 4. Patience. When in doubt, stay out. Remember, we just talked about it. If you can make a decision in 20 to 30 minutes, if you cannot make a decision in 20 to 30 minutes, it is time to walk away. Okay, employ adequate risk to reward ratios. We see that's a very simple idea. It simply compares the potential for reward against the potential for loss. Risk to reward ratios are calculated by counting the pips between the entry price and the stop and limit price at which the trader will exit the market. So you can see the chart on your screen. If I am potentially down 20 and potentially up 10, that is a 2-to-1 ratio, or in other words, I have to be right 67% of the time just to break even as a trader. That is pretty intimidating to most traders. To have to be right that percentage of the time just to break even. That would mean that you would have to be right about 80% of the time just to take home any kind of profit that is worth telling anybody about. If it's 20 to 20, that is 1-to-1. I need to be right 50% of the time. That is still not a good ratio. What you're really looking for is around 20 to 40. I am potentially down 20, but potentially up 40. This is a 1-to-2 ratio. I only need to be right 33% of the time in order to break even as a trader. That means that if I can trade correctly 40 to 50% of the time, I have become very profitable. And once I am at 60% of the time, where I once needed to be right 60% of the time, Now with 1 to 2 ratio at 60% of the time, which is entirely doable, I am a very profitable and successful trader. And the chart goes on and shows us some other values: 30 to 40, 30 to 60, 40s, 40 to 60, 40 to 80, and so on and so forth. It's all the same idea. The key to maximizing profits is most often simply minimizing losses. The last paragraph, despite the universal acceptance of this concept and the ease with which one can spot a trade which falls inside these ratios, it remains a difficult thing for new traders to do. This reminds me, we talked in technical analysis about trading inside the channels, the times to place those trades and the times to stay away. Your risk to reward ratio really comes into play when considering that example. At certain times on those support and resistance lines, when we hit those lines, our potential risk is so little, but our potential reward is so great, and if we are to trade the opposite end of that spectrum, we are simply being foolish. Temptation to trade outside these ratios just this once is great, but to be successful, the new trader must have the patience and mental discipline to execute trades within these ratios consistently. Risk to reward ratios, it is a simple concept, but I am never surprised by how quickly simple concepts are dismissed. Clients, former students, call with questions and concerns. I ask them how they are doing. They tell me that their count is down, that they are struggling, and that they don't know how much longer they can continue to take losses and stay in the market, and they just don't understand what they are doing wrong. I take it back to the basics. I ask them about their risk to reward ratios, their money management, so on and so forth, some of these key psychology issues that we are discussing, and without fail, almost every single time they have entirely forgotten and stopped implementing those strategies. You simply can't do it. I don't care how long you have been trading the market. I don't care how smart you are. And the second that you start dismissing these basic principles, you're going to fall apart as a trader. So please implement and keep all of these strategies and psychology of trading points in mind as you trade.